Well, what is going on, everybody? This is Dave and welcome back to another Football Manager 2017 experiment. Today is one that I thought I would never in a million years make. As you can tell by the title and the image on the screen, it is Ruben Neves at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Obviously the club I've supported since birth, Wolves, having this influx of money from the Chinese owners, Fosun, and now being linked, being very close to apparently signing one of the best wonderkids in European football at the moment, Ruben Neves from Porto. So what I've done, we've used the real life fixtures and results to get to the 31st of May 2017, more or less a few weeks before we are today. So all results and transfers are more or less up to date. So if we have a quick look on screen, Wolves, we've got Nuno as manager, Ruben Neves is there, already listed as a key player as you'd expect. And you've got Nuno with all his staff. So you've got Rui Barbosa, Haulapa, Rui Pedro Silva, and so on and so forth. So we're going to be using that, and we go into the squad and to see, and as you can see, Ruben Neves is there. So valued at £11.75 million. I've transferred him just now. I've not put a value on there, but it's believed to be possibly around £50 to £20 million. Obviously with clauses and so on. Perhaps it's a crazy transfer, I know. Something I never thought would happen. Not done a video as such on it yet in real life terms, but if you guys are interested in that, do let me know. But as you can see, 20 years of age, he's got professional personality, which normally does help, continental reputation as well. He's on quite a small wage at Porto, £10,000. I've put his contract till about 2020, and as you can see, very, very good player. Crossing is good, passing is brilliant at. Good technique, good work rate and determination. Physicals are okay. I mean, he's not the quickest player, but he's not slow. But overall, he's a really well-rounded defensive and central midfielder. So I think he'd work really, really well and be what Wolves really have missed to help spray those balls out wide to our attacking players. So obviously Wolves in the Championship, they finished 15th in real life. Huddersfield obviously beating Reading as well to go up. But we want to see Nuno and Ruben Neves push Wolves up, see if they can get promoted. Obviously the video is predominantly about Neves, but any Wolves success is always a bonus. So we're going to go year by year, and let's start off by going to the end of the 17-18 season. So here we are then, the 31st of May 2018. We're going to be taking a look at how Wolves and Ruben Neves have got on. So Ruben Neves, wherever he may be, is still at Wolves. Value has gone up slightly. Obviously some stats may well have increased as well. He's still got his, 2 appearances for Portugal, but played 45 games this season for Wolves in the league, 2 goals, scoring 1 goal in the FA Cup. They must have done pretty well to play 4 appearances, unless they got replays, of course, but a very decent average rating of 7.19, 1 man of the match, and an average rating of 7.5 in the FA Cup as well. So overall, a pretty solid, decent season for Ruben Neves. Transfer-wise, there's no clubs interested in him as such at the moment as well. So overall, he did pretty well. 12 shots on target throughout the whole season as well. Majority of the games at defensive midfield, but he did play a couple, well not a couple, 22 at central midfield as well. Obviously no first team international appearances this season. Wolves as a whole won the Championship. They absolutely blitzed it, won by 6 points as well. Cardiff also coming up, which is quite a surprise, but Hull also coming up as well. But Wolves had a massive season. Competitions in general, senior squad knocked out in the 5th round of the FA Cup by Leicester, 2nd round of the EFL Cup to Middlesbrough. Liverpool won both of those, but John Daddy Varson looking like he was the key player. But Nuno Espirito Santo doing the business in his first year. If only this could come true. Bringing Lewis Baker in on loan. They did bring in a Benfica lad on loan, Pedro Rodriguez, who's a defensive midfielder who looks pretty good. Majority of his games coming off the bench. Fausto Grillo from Vélez as well, who's an Argentine centre-back. And then Charlie Taylor in from Leeds. Brighton Abakari, Paul Gladden both went on loan. Noel Ennis went out on loan as well. And Prince Oniange left the club on loan as well. What a solid first season that is for Nuno and Neves at Wolves. Let's build on that. Let's see how they'll get on in the first league season in the Premier League. So here we are, end of the 18-19 season. Last year was exactly what we wanted to see, a solid Neves season, and Wolves winning the league. So let's go and check out Neves again. He's certainly still at Wolves, and this time his value shot up to £28 million. And that's because he was almost ever present in the Premier League with an absolutely solid 7.26 average rating. FA Cup as well, he got 7.1, 4 appearances in that. Overall, a wonderful season. 2 assists, 4 goals. Now, this is the thing with Neves. People have got to realise this guy does sit a little bit deeper. You can't expect him to grab 10, 15 goals and 10, 15 assists a season. He'll be the one that sprays the ball out to the wingers to cross it in and score the goals. And people hopefully will realise that in due course. Passing now at 17, which is fantastic. For those who aren't familiar with Football Manager stats, they are rated out of 20. So to have 17 out of 20 is very, very good. Still no appearances for Portugal as such. But as you can see, again, the majority of his games this season were from central midfield. However, his average rating was slightly better in the 14 games he played in defensive midfield. This season, 35 games in the league, as I say, 4 goals, which was more than last season, 2 assists, but 3 man of the matches and a 7.26 average rating. Transfer-wise, again, no clubs seem to be interested in him as such. He has signed a new contract now till June 2023. He's got a minimum fee release clause of £41.5 million for any club that is in the Champions League, which is great news for Wolves, of course. Nuno's still manager at the moment. Transfer-wise, who they've brought in, they spent quite a bit of money, only 7.25, mind, but Chesney coming in on loan, which is a great, on a free rather, which is a great signing for Wolves. 2 players coming in from Benfica. Pedro Rodriguez came back for another season, much more regular this term. Pedro Alvaro as well, who's a centre-back, a very young centre-back that made brief appearances. Brought in Jordan Much from Palace, Bafuma as well, which is a good signing. Big players out was really Prince Oniange. Miranda got sold as well for 2.9 million. Obviously, the lad Wolves brought in this season, but didn't really play much, as you can see. Really struggled to get into the team in the Championship and didn't play in the Premier League. Morgan Gibbs-White loaned out. Evanks Landell left. Barry Douglas as well, forgot about him. Only made 1 appearance for Wolves in the Championship and didn't obviously appear in the Premier League at all. Zyro also left. Dave Edwards released. Wolves as a whole in the competition wise, 6th round of the FA Cup and 4th round of the EFL Cup. Overall, a very solid season for Wolves. Finishing 10th in the Premier League, which we didn't see as well, which is a fantastic debut season for Wolves, which obviously they'll want to build on. Media predicted 16th as well at the time, which is very, very good. Cardiff coming straight back down. Very poor season for them, along with Hull, who went up with Wolves, and West Ham. So Wolves, obviously, despite not investing massively in the side, were very, very solid this season. A quick look at some of the better players, perhaps, as well. The best average ratings in the last 5 games was Ruben Neves. He came second in the best average rating behind Matt Doherty, who only played 2 games. So Neves really was the best overall performer throughout the season. Players like Helder Costa, he played 33, started 33 games, did get 9 assists and 5 goals, grabbed a 6.85 average rate, and as you can see, he's valued at 14 million right now. But Wolves will want to build on that solid first Premier League season. We don't want to keep going through the leagues for too long, but if we skip forward again, go to the end of the 19-20 season and see if Wolves can build on a very solid mid-table finish. So here we are at the end of the 19-20 season. Checking out Ruben Neves again. He's still at Wolves, valued at a massive £31 million now. Another brilliant season for him. Ever present in the Premier League. 3 games in the FA Cup and 2 in the EFL Cup. Playing a 7.18 average rating throughout those games. Anything above 7 normally, especially at Premier League level, is very, very decent. 3 goals this season, 1 assist, 4 man of the matches. Just 2 bookings and no red cards. Stats again, still growing, still only 23 years of age. He did grab an appearance for Portugal as well. He may well, I'm not too sure if there's the World Cup or Euros, is it 2020? He may well break into that Portugal squad, but we'll have to find out and have a look. But again, for international, he played 1 game defensive midfield, where he tends to get a slightly better average rating. For Portugal, he didn't have a great game with a 6.3, but a majority of the games for Wolves this season was from the centre of midfield. If you have a look here, we've got the player traits as well, which I'd expect. Long range passes, dictates the tempo and likes to switch the ball, which I've seen a If you watch videos of him, how he plays, that really does sum him up quite well. Two major interests from clubs now, two massive clubs, Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund, are looking at Neves to sign perhaps as well. So overall, a very solid season for him. How did Wolves get on though? Finished 17th in the Premier League this season, and a new manager, Roberto Di Matteo, has come into Wolves. Only just stayed up in the Premier League, which was worrying. That is very, very worrying. So what happened to Nuno then? So Nuno got sacked. Sean Parrish came in for a short while, who's now a coach at Bournemouth. He came in for a couple of weeks. He grabbed two wins actually and a loss. But Nuno is now at Bournemouth after being sacked. Bournemouth are in the Premier League and finished much better than Wolves, which is strange. But Roberto Di Matteo came in, lost 11 and won 7, but he's still in charge at the moment. Wolves won't be too happy with that season. Spending 28 million this season, not really receiving much money. They brought in Adama Traore from Middlesbrough, Martin Braithwaite, the striker from Toulouse, came in, Winston Reid, Masuaku from West Ham, Gary Cahill came in on a free as well. So some decent little players came in there. 5th round of the FA Cup. They still seem to do quite well in the FA Cup. They lost out to Manchester United. The EFL Cup, though, they lost out to Reading. But that was a poor season from Wolves, especially predicted to finish slightly higher than last season. 14th, where they were predicted to finish 16th last year. They've really, really struggled this year. 4 goals. Maybe the signing of Braithwaite may help them slightly, but John Daddy Budvarsson with just 9 goals was the top goal scorer. Neves is still at Wolves just about. It would have been very interesting to see what would have happened if they went down, but hopefully they can build again another season. Let's see if they can improve this term. So then, obviously now we're in 2021, and you know, Neves is now one of the best players in the league almost, but he played for a team that just missed out on relegation. So is he going to still be at the club? If we search Ruben Neves, no, he's not. He joined Manchester City, valued at £35 million. This season, he only played 18 games in the league with only a 6.88 average rating. But as you can see, he is a very, very well-rounded player. Very, very good. Obviously, his weaker stats are heading, long throws, and finishing. But he is 5'11". There's going to be taller players than him, so heading isn't much of an issue. Obviously, long throws and finishing as well. But other than that, so really great stats. Mentally, he's brilliant, and physically, he's really good as well now. With some of those stats growing. So City he joined for £31 million. So Wolves would have made about 10 to 15 million pounds on him, which is not a bad return at all, especially for a player that played so well for them. But he didn't really get going this season at Manchester City. Indeed. Development this season again, played every game for Manchester City at central midfield. Played quite a few games for the Portuguese national team, but didn't do so well as well. As you can see, with 4 games at central midfield and 1 at defensive midfield. Overall, though, with an average rating of 7.02 throughout the whole season, which wasn't too bad at all. Obviously, we want to check out how Wolves got on, though. Wolves finished in 10th place with 53 points. Again, much better performance from them. Still got Di Matteo in charge. It would have been interesting to see where they invested that money in. So, received 40 million. They went out and splashed it. Brought Andre Kramaric from Hoffenheim. Ben Osborne came in from Forest. Christopher Ayer, who's a good player as well. Holtzhauser, Seferovic, Eli Joel Pereira as well. So, good players came in. Wolves obviously sold Ruben Neves for 31 million, but obviously got rid of a few other players as well. Very interestingly though, Niall Ennis hasn't really got going yet. I was saying that he scored 18 goals in League One. Normally he does turn into a very decent Championship striker on this game. Brighton and Bakari left. John Daddy Budvarsson strangely as well left the club, despite being the Wolves' top goal scorer last season as well. A quick look at Wolves though. Finishing in 10th place again, 6th round of the FA Cup, 3rd round of the EFL Cup. So Ruben Neves at Manchester City now. What we'll do though, we'll skip for 1 more year, see how he gets on, see if he produces any more, rises in value or has a very good season if he moves clubs. But at the moment, Ruben Neves at Manchester City after moving for a big money move from Wolves. So here we are then, final season of this quick experiment. Well, I say quick experiment, it's almost going on past 15 minutes now. He's still at Manchester City. Obviously, when you ever type in Neves, Ivan Cavallero comes up as well. Have a quick look at him. Seems to have done okay for Wolves if we had a quick look. But yeah, Ruben Neves still at City, value at 36 million. So it's mainly remains sort of the same sort of value. Premier League wise, he played more games, had a much better average rating this season. So really, becoming one of the best central midfielders in the Premier League at the moment. Played every game at central midfield again, quite a few more games for the international side this year, 9 games overall. Transfer wise, obviously City are his team at the moment, no other team sniffing around him as well, but a much better season for him as a player. Again, looking at his stats, they've all remained fairly the same, and very much a very good player now as well. Wolves as a whole finished 7th in the Premier League and European football for the Wolves, so it's taken until 2022. So Wolves fans, put in your diary the 21-22 season. Will that be the year we get European football? Roberto Di Matteo still in charge there. Wolves got quite lucky in the end. Finished level on points with Leicester, but really pit them to the post of goal difference. Knocked out in the 3rd round of the FA Cup to Villa. Knocked out in the 3rd round of the EFL Cup to Leicester. Top goal scorer in quite a few competitions, Tomohiko Baba, a Japanese striker on loan from Manchester City who looks decent. Check out quickly who Wolves have brought in. 28.5 million this season they spent on Reece Oxford, Joe Rankin Castello, who turns into a pretty decent player, Dragomir as well. So good players there. But overall, I think it was been a very interesting campaign and a great experiment. A quick look maybe where Nuno is. At the moment, he's managerless, but he did have a little stint at Sheffield Wednesday as well in the Championship, so very interesting to see him. Sean Parrish as well, he must have turned out to be, you know, he went to a coach to Bournemouth as well when Nuno was there, so maybe he's a little one of Nuno's boys now, part of Nuno's cozy club maybe. But yeah, overall Wolves have grown massively as a team, and the Neves factor certainly helped because he was much one of the better players in there, and hopefully that happens in real life if he does sign. There's a couple of other rumours. If you want me to do any more Wolves experiments, do let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know what you think of the potential signing of Ruben Neves. Also guys, before we finish off the video, a massive helping hand if you could. My sister, incredibly, is going for Miss England. Well, she's in the finals for Miss England. There is a social media around, so if you do want to help, on Facebook, I've put a link in the description down below, and I've put a link in the comment section. You can like a photo. That's all you have to do, like a photo, and that will count as a vote towards her in Miss England. You can also donate to her fundraising. She's doing a skydive very soon as well. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. But that is all. Hopefully you enjoyed this video today. Football Manager back on the channel. Until next time guys though, make sure you slash the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, enjoy the rest of your days. And I'll see you all very soon.